Hello, my name is Matthew Patterson. I am the Director of Special Education for the San Juan Unified School District. The purpose of this video series is to share with you some of the basics of the special education process, including referral, identification, and services, as well as the Individualized Education Process, or the IEP. You can watch the videos in a sequence or select a topic from the menu. You can also reach out to the Special Education Department at 916-971-7525 if you have any questions. Special education is specially designed instruction to meet the needs of students with disabilities. The Federal Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, or IDEA, provides rights and protections to children with disabilities and to their parents. IDEA applies to students in all 50 states. All qualified persons with disabilities in San Juan Unified School District boundaries are entitled to a free, appropriate public education, which means that we provide access and educational benefit for all students with exceptional needs. Special education services are initiated by an educational assessment to determine if a student has a disability and if it is impacting their education in a way that they need specialized instruction. Not all students with learning problems qualify for special education supports. There are many services within the general education program to help students who are behind academically or struggle with their behavior. In all school districts, students from birth through age 22 years old can receive special education services. Our department's intent is to collaborate and work together with students and their families to ensure all students are supported in their learning. Parents of students are encouraged to talk with school staff when it appears their child is not making academic progress. Informal conferences and student success team meetings can be held with site staff when there is a need to improve communication, attendance, or behavior. Talk with your child's teacher or site administration about setting up this type of conference. In most situations, federal regulations require that resources of the general education program need to be utilized prior to assessing students for special education. The special education process can be long and a bit overwhelming for parents. Please ask our staff for clarification or to restate information that doesn't make sense to you. You are your child's biggest advocate, and we want to work with you to help your child. There are 13 categories that students can be eligible for to receive special education services. These categories are autism, deaf-blindness, deafness, emotional disturbance, hearing impairment, intellectual disability, multiple disabilities, orthopedic impairment, other health impairment, including ADHD, specific learning disability, including dyslexia, dyscalculia, and dysgraphia, and other learning issues, speech or language impairment, traumatic brain injury, and visual impairment, including blindness. Once an assessment is requested, the district will respond to the request in writing within 15 calendar days. The district will then conduct the assessment within 60 days and will convene an initial Individualized Education Program, or IEP, meeting to determine eligibility. Translation will be provided at parents' request. Parents will receive their parent rights in their home language when they request an assessment and annually at the IEP meeting. Parents' written approval is required for the initial assessment. The school district must have your informed written consent before it can evaluate your child. Additionally, written approval is required for reassessment. The school district must have your informed written consent before reevaluating your child. Lastly, written approval from parents is required for initial and continued placement in special education. You must give informed written consent before the school district can place your child in a special education program. The assessment will be conducted by experts in different areas and will look different for each child based on their unique area of suspected need. An Individualized Education Program, or IEP, is designed to meet the unique needs of a student with a disability that is impacting their educational progress. An IEP has several components, including the results of any recent assessments, how your child is currently doing in school, called the present levels of performance, your child's annual educational goals, a description of how your child's progress will be measured, special education supports and services that the school will provide to help your child reach goals, and modifications and accommodations that are necessary to support your child in their educational setting. The law requires that IEPs are reviewed at least once a year. The IEP meeting is key to making sure your child's IEP is working for him or her. The IEP meeting is when you and teachers collaborate to create a plan designed to meet the unique needs of the student. Items typically discussed at IEP meetings include your child's strengths, your concerns and suggestions for improving your child's education, how well modifications and accommodations are helping, and the results of your child's first or most recent evaluation. When the IEP team is considering if a student qualifies for services, they will look at attendance and English language acquisition. Students may not qualify for special education services if the learning challenges may be due to lack of school exposure or learning English as a second language. It is important to note that parents can request an interpreter for any meeting. Also, parents can request that the written IEP plan be translated into their home language. The IEP must be signed by a biological parent or a guardian who has been given educational rights. IEP team members include you, the parent or parents, the student, a general education teacher, a school administrator, a special education teacher, and any other adult providing supports or services to the child. The IEP is the cornerstone of a child's special education program and should reflect your child's strengths, needs, and progress as he or she moves through school. You are an important member of your child's IEP team and bring valuable insight to the table. When your child's IEP team meets, one of the items that is discussed is the least restrictive environment, or LRE, for your child's education. LRE is a part of the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, which says that children who receive special education should learn in the least restrictive environment. This means they should spend as much time as possible with their peers who do not receive special education. When LRE comes up, oftentimes words such as mainstreaming and inclusion do as well. Mainstreaming means putting your child with special education needs in the general education classroom for some or most of the day. Inclusion is a teaching approach that focuses on including students with special education needs in the school community beyond just in the classroom. All students benefit from being educated with their peers who do not receive special education as much as possible. Students with exceptional needs benefit from being in inclusive settings and exposure to appropriate curriculum. If a student's needs can't be met within the general education classroom with appropriate supports and services, IEP teams are required to look at a more intensive service. At its core, special education is a set of services and supports, not a place. That being said, it is an IEP team's decision to determine where these services occur. Each district is required to offer a continuum of supports and services in order to meet the array of needs that students have. Some of the services offered at San Juan Unified are early childhood education services for infants and preschoolers, a resource specialist program often called RSP, speech therapy, occupational therapy, mental health counseling, special day classes, center-based programs, an extended school year, workability, non-public schools, and state special schools. Not all services are appropriate for all students. Services are determined by the unique needs of students based on a variety of assessments. Service providers may be involved with your child's IEP team depending on their needs, including speech-language pathologists, school psychologists, educational specialists, adaptive physical education teacher, occupational therapists, and mental health therapists. Special education services are intended to provide the supports that students need in order to access instruction. Parents may want to seek other community resources if they feel their child could use additional services. At San Juan Unified, we believe that learning begins at home and continues at school. Special education is a collaborative process, and we believe that parents are their children's first teachers and most important advocate. Parent participation, input, and support of the IEP team is an integral part of the IEP process. Parents are encouraged to provide all health, academic, and social-emotional information regarding their child, as it will help support the IEP team in creating the most appropriate IEP for your child. Parents are also encouraged to request and engage in regular communication with key members of the IEP team. Upon written request, parents can request an IEP meeting to discuss concerns or any other relevant updates. Meetings will generally be set within 30 calendar days from the written request. During the IEP process, parents are asked to do the following: stay informed, take a team approach, build relationships with IEP team members, communicate regularly and often, talk with your child to get their perspective on school, ask questions, keep paperwork organized, and engage in the district's special education community advisory committee meetings for information and input. We believe that individuals with exceptional needs should be educated to the maximum extent possible in accordance with their individual capabilities and in a manner that allows them to benefit from their education. We look forward to partnering with you. If you have any unanswered questions, please continue to watch our frequently asked questions video, or you can reach out to the Special Education Department at 916-971-7525. In this video, we will go over some of the most frequently asked questions about the special education process. How do I know if my child needs a special program? If your child has a demonstrated significant learning difficulty which prevents functioning effectively in a general school program with special assistance, then your child might benefit from special education services. There are other supports within the general education program that can assist students who are not in the special education program. If I have a child with disabilities, at what age do I notify the district that my child may need a special program? A child with intensive needs may be eligible at birth. Notify the special education department by calling 916-971-7525. If my child has special problems that I am concerned about, where do I first seek help? Contact your local school principal and they will connect you with the school psychologist who can assist you with the process. If your child is not yet attending school, call the special education department at 916-971-7525. When would a referral for special education be appropriate? In most cases, after the resources of the general education program have been considered and, where appropriate, utilized without success. Students with significant physical or developmental disabilities may be referred directly to a state regional center or their child's medical team. How will I know if my child is eligible for special education services? A child's eligibility is determined by the Individualized Education Program, or the IEP team, following an assessment. A parent is an important part of the IEP team. Who determines my child's special education needs? The IEP team, of which you are a member, will determine your child's needs. Will my child participate in regular school programs? Yes. A goal of special education is to include students with special needs in the general program as much as possible. This is called mainstreaming or inclusion. How long will my child receive special education? Annual evaluations and IEP meetings will be conducted to determine your child's need for special education. Some students exit the special education program when they meet their goals, and others receive special education supports through their entire schooling. If I am not happy with my child's present progress in school, whom do I contact? If I still do not feel the situation has been satisfactorily resolved, who do I talk to? First, contact your child's teacher and/or the principal. If you need further information, contact your special education program specialist at the Special Education Department at 916-971-7525. If I'm not happy with my child's special education placement, what can I do? First, contact your child's special education teacher. If you need additional help, you may request a review by the IEP team to consider your concerns, conduct needed assessments, and, if appropriate, modify your child's IEP. What if my child's physical impairment or health problem causes him to miss school regularly? Your child's teacher, the principal, and a school nurse working with the special education program will work with you to plan an appropriate program. If there is an extended absence, home instructors are available. Under what circumstances will my child receive special transportation? Special arrangements will be made if the IEP team determines that age, disability, or distance prevents your child from walking or public transportation. What if my child needs to be given medication at school? Medication can be given by the school office personnel with written medical authorization from a physician and you. A medication authorization release form must be on file in the school office. If I feel my child needs special counseling, what can I do? Contact your child's teacher, principal, or the district's counseling center at 916-971-7640 for information. What kind of vocational skills or life skills training can my child receive? Special education vocational training classes are held at the high school level and include career exploration, practical experience, and on-the-job training. Is there a preschool program available? Yes, there are programs available for infant stimulation, mobility training, students who are severely disabled, hearing impaired, speech impaired, and students who are visually impaired. Contact the Special Education Department for details at 916-971-7525. Must parents pay for special education services? No, though many parents seek services beyond the special education program, which they may pay for, all special education and related services are provided at public expense, under public supervision and direction, and without charge. However, the Education Code allows a district to seek reimbursement for the cost of related services from the parent's insurance company. If I want to visit my child's school program or classes, or want a conference, what procedure do I follow? Call your school's principal to arrange a convenient time for both you and the teacher. Will my child receive a report card? Your child will receive a progress report card, or you will be invited to a parent-teacher conference. You will also receive updates on how your child is progressing toward meeting the annual goals specified in the IEP. English is not my child's first language. Will they receive services from someone who speaks our language? The IEP team will address specific language needs and have linguistically appropriate goals in the IEP, which may not necessarily be in their native language. Support from EL service providers may also be provided. Who do I contact if I want to do volunteer work for special education? Get in touch with the principal or special education teacher at your local school. All volunteers go through our district fingerprinting process if they want to volunteer on an ongoing basis. Are students who reside outside of the San Juan Unified School District boundaries eligible for special education services in the San Juan Unified School District? Students who reside in another district outside the San Juan Unified boundaries are guaranteed special education programs in their district of residence. Special education is guaranteed only to students in the district who reside within the boundaries of the district. There are occasions when students from other districts receive service in San Juan Unified, but that decision involves a special agreement between districts when a specific program does not exist within a district. I live in San Juan Unified, but my student attends a charter school or private school. Can he or she access special education services? Yes. Students in charter schools who are eligible for special education receive those services at the charter school. Students who are identified as having disabilities and enrolled in private schools by their parents receive a proportional share of services or supports determined by each district. This can be in the form of an individual service plan, not an IEP. What transition services are available for children with special needs? Beginning not later than the first IEP to be in effect when the child turns 16, the IEP will include appropriate post-secondary goals based upon age-appropriate transition assessments and the transition services needed to assist the child in reaching those goals. Transition goals will relate to training, education, employment, and independent living skills, as appropriate. Thank you for learning more about the special education process here in San Juan Unified School District. We know this is a lot of information to take in, but be assured we're here to support you and support your child meet their individual goals. You can learn more about special education services on our webpage at www.sanjuan.edu/special-ed or by calling us at 916-971-7525 if you have any questions. Thank you.